cannabis church. There was a raid on these folks they call the cannabis church, and they're saying that the police came in, they took $30,000, they took cannabis, they cleaned them up. They just said, you know, you're out of business. Well, the group is saying, no, we're not out of business because we're a church. We're a cannabis church. We have, you know, we have an association of faith, and we have the right to protection as a church. It's really no different. You know, it's no different for the Rastafarians. The Rastafarians say we have a right to use marijuana. These people are saying the same thing. They're saying, look,
this isn't,
this hasn't been tested.
Yeah.
Here's the problem they have with this. Okay, so get ready if you're part of the cannabis church, dude. I mean,
it's clever.
It is clever. I mean, but you know, the dude abides and all that. I don't think the dude's going to abide here, because what you're going to find is that there's statutes in place. Okay, there's state statute. The statute says that you have to comply with certain registration, certain tax requirements, certain health requirements. There's all these things you have to do before you can call yourself a church. You know, it's a pretty lengthy process. And in addition to that, you have to do those things in order to sell cannabis. So it's kind of a loser, I think. I don't think they're going to prevail on the first, you know, on this idea of religion. But I wonder, as I looked at this story, I kind of wondered, is this Sessions overreacting? Is this part of Sessions saying we're going to clamp down on marijuana out in California because they're ignoring us? You know,
this would be an easy target off the. I mean, as far as somebody claiming this is a religion, I think they went a little too far. It could be Sessions. You know, I tell you what, though, I don't think that they needed to push the church issue. They're in California. It doesn't really make any sense.
Well, I mean, maybe somebody says, the ACLU says, well, we want to test and see if you've got a right under church protection. Hey, listen, with Scientology, you know, Scientology is a religion. If you look at the IRS and you look at the way the government looks at Scientology, and from whatever planet Scientology comes from, they feel like they have enough to say, yeah, we can qualify as religion. I think this is a loser, but I think under the right circumstances, I think it probably could have prevailed, but it had to be set up better. You had to at least comply with statutory.
Right.
When you say we have to actually be set up as a church, and we have to say that maybe cannabis was part of the sacrament. Like the Catholic Church may say wine is part of the sacrament. They say cannabis is part of the...
Was it the feds that went after him, or was it the local sheriff's department? Because I think either way, it really is kind of a crazy story that they've decided to.
Let's follow this one and see whether the cannabis church makes it through this one.